The United States of America $1 2009 D coin is part of the Presidential $1 coin program, a historic numismatic initiative authorized by the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005, designed to honor former presidents of the United States by issuing golden-colored $1 coins featuring their likenesses in the order of their service. The 2009 D designation specifically refers to coins struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, a facility that has been operational since 1906 and remains one of the most important mints in the U.S. monetary system. The year 2009 represents the third year of the Presidential Dollar Program, following its launch in 2007, and includes four distinct presidential issues: William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, and Zachary Taylor. Each of these coins shares common design elements mandated by law but also carries unique portraits and inscriptions that distinguish one president from another. The obverse front of each 2009 presidential $1 coin features a bold and detailed portrait of the honored president, designed by a U.S. Mint artist and approved by the Commission of Fine Arts as well as the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee, while the reverse back of every coin in the program features the iconic Statue of Liberty, designed by Don Everhart, with the inscriptions, United States of America and the denomination $1. Unlike traditional coins, the date, mint mark, D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, and mottos, E pluribus unum and In God We Trust, were initially placed on the coin's edge in incused lettering, giving these coins a distinctive and somewhat controversial appearance, since this was one of the first U.S. circulating coins to feature inked edge lettering since the early 19th century. In 2009, controversy arose because many Americans did not notice the national motto on the edge, leading to public complaints and a later redesign in 2009 that moved In God We Trust to the obverse starting in 2009's later issues, making these transitional coins particularly interesting to collectors. From a technical standpoint, the 2009 D presidential dollars are composed of a manganese brass clad over a pure copper core, giving them their distinctive golden color, though they contain no actual gold. Each coin weighs 8.1 grams, measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, and has a smooth edge inscribed with lettering rather than reading. The production numbers were substantial, with the Denver Mint striking tens of millions of each design, although actual circulation usage of the dollar coins was low because Americans continued to prefer the traditional paper dollar bill. This mismatch between mint production and public acceptance led to large government stockpiles of unused dollar coins in federal vaults, making them a notable case study in U.S. currency policy. Despite low circulation demand, numismatists and collectors value the 2009 D presidential dollars for their historical significance, edge variations, and potential minting errors. Some coins display double edge lettering, missing edge lettering, or inverted edge lettering, all of which increase their value beyond face value. Typical 2009 D presidential dollars in circulated condition are still worth only $1, but uncirculated or proof quality examples, especially in higher mint state grades certified by NGC or PCGS, can be valued from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on rarity, condition, and error characteristics. Beyond their monetary worth, these coins represent a rich intersection of art, history, and economics. They serve as miniature tributes to the lives and legacies of America's leaders, even controversial ones, and offer tangible connections to U.S. history. For example, William Henry Harrison, the ninth president, is remembered for his record-short 31-day presidency, while James K. Polk oversaw the largest territorial expansion of the United States during his term. By issuing these coins in 2009, the U.S. Mint not only contributed to numismatic tradition but also aimed to spark public interest in historical education, as each release coincided with significant public ceremonies, educational outreach, and media coverage. Collectors often build complete sets of all presidential dollars, 2007 to 2016, and the 2009 D issues form an essential part of that series, offering a fascinating combination of modern minting technology, presidential portraiture, and evolving public policy towards circulating coinage in the 21st century. In broader context, the 2009 D1 coins illustrate the tension between practical currency use and symbolic heritage preservation, While the coins failed to gain traction in commerce, they succeeded as historical artifacts, serving as both a reflection of America's past and an example of how the government uses coinage not just as money, but also as a medium of national storytelling, identity, and commemoration. Next top. The United States of America's 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial $1 coin, particularly those struck with a D mint mark at the Denver Mint, holds a special place in American numismatic and cultural history because it is not just a coin for commerce, but also a commemorative object produced to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the nation's independence. In order to truly understand the importance of this coin, one must place it in the context of America's bicentennial celebration, the evolution of the Eisenhower dollar series, the coinage laws of the early 1970s, and the role of the U.S. Mint in capturing national pride through circulating money. The Eisenhower dollar series itself began in 1971, following the death of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, whose leadership was still fresh in American memory during the post-war decades. When the series was launched, it was the first $1 coin minted for circulation in the United States since the Peace Dollar series, which had ended in 1935. The Eisenhower dollar was a large-sized dollar coin, measuring 38.1 millimeters in diameter and weighing 22.68 grams, which made it heavy and somewhat cumbersome in circulation. Although it did not achieve widespread popularity in everyday commerce, the coin was a landmark issue for collectors and became even more notable during the nation's bicentennial in 1976, when a special dual-dated version was authorized by Congress to commemorate 200 years of independence. The bicentennial dollar is unique in that it bears the dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse instead of a single date of issue. Every Eisenhower dollar struck in 1975 and 1976 carries this dual date, and none were struck with the regular 1975 date. The obverse design, created by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, retained the familiar bust of Eisenhower facing left, a continuation from earlier issues, but the reverse design was completely changed for the bicentennial. Through a national design competition, the Mint invited artists to submit concepts that would embody the spirit of America's 200th anniversary. The winning design for the dollar reverse came from Dennis R. Williams, a 22-year-old art student from Columbus, Ohio. Williams's design depicted the Liberty Bell superimposed upon the surface of the moon, a striking combination of historic and futuristic imagery. The Liberty Bell represents freedom and independence, while the moon references the United States' achievement in space exploration, particularly the Apollo 11 landing in 1969, which had carried a small American flag and left a plaque signed by President Nixon in office when the Eisenhower dollar was introduced. The merging of these two symbols created a powerful message: America's journey from independence in 1776 to global leadership in science and exploration 2 centuries later. The Denver Mint, signified by the D mint mark, was one of 3 facilities producing bicentennial dollars, the others being Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and San Francisco, which struck both circulation and special collector versions. Denver struck hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation. The coins struck for circulation were made of copper, nickel-clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving them a silvery appearance. In addition, the U.S. Mint produced special 40% silver-clad versions for collectors, available in both uncirculated and proof formats, though these were limited and mostly struck at San Francisco. The Denver Mint coins are typically found in circulation and in rolls, bags, or sets distributed to the public. Because of their mass production, most Denver bicentennial dollars today are common and hold only modest value in circulated condition, typically $1 to $2 as collectibles, though pristine examples graded at high mint state levels by professional grading services can command significantly higher premiums. Coins with strong luster, minimal contact marks, or special striking qualities can be valued much more, especially those designated as MS 65, MS 66, or higher by grading standards. Additionally, There exist some varieties, such as differences in the sharpness of details on the Liberty Bell or minor die variations, which intrigue collectors and add another layer of study to the series. Beyond their numismatic qualities, bicentennial dollars serve as cultural artifacts of the 1970s, embodying a moment when the entire country came together to celebrate its 200th birthday. The bicentennial itself was marked by parades, tall ship displays, fireworks, the issuance of commemorative stamps, and countless souvenirs, of which the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar bicentennial coins were perhaps the most enduring because they circulated nationwide. Children, families, and collectors alike often saved them from pocket change, leading to their